Everyone, and welcome to another edition of Joshing Around Milwaukee. I am Josh Albrecht, and with me as always is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, and we're very excited to welcome on Marty Brooks from the Wisconsin Center District today.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Josh is having some fun, 'cause 2 Joshes are better than 1.
Today, Marty, how we doing?
Doing great. I feel like I should be changing my name though to Josh Albrecht.
Oh, of course.
I won't stop you if you want to.
Do we need to do a petition? What do we need to do?
That's a good question.
I think you just got to go down to the courthouse.
Yeah.
I think we can make this happen.
Let's go right after the interview.
Yeah, I love it.
I like that you said after. I was worried he was now.
Yeah,
like,
just
this
bail.
isn't enough. We need to keep going.
Marty, you head up Wisconsin Center District, and just a few moments ago before we started the recording, we're getting the list of all the things that encompasses. It's quite a nice piece of property in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Can you just paint a little picture for what the campus is like and what it all encompasses, so people can put a little visual to it?
We are a quasi-government agency that was created in 1994 to take over what was the Mecca Arena Convention Center, and we are now the owners and operator of the Wisconsin. Whoa, boy, I got that wrong. The Baird Center, the Convention Center, the UWM Panther Arena, and the Miller High Life Theater.
Yeah. The Baird Center is absolutely beautiful. That's part of the reason why you're here today. Is just had its wonderful grand opening, a beautiful day that took several years to get to. Right. When did the process start for the expansion project, and what was it like seeing literally a child almost grow in front of you?
Well, it's a very interesting period of time, because when the South Building, as we call the prior Wisconsin Center, was built and opened in 1998. It was always anticipated that at some point in the future there would need to be an expansion. So it was built to make that easy. Right after it opened in 98, there were a number of studies done over the subsequent years looking how we stood up against competitive markets. A number of different consultants were hired to do feasibility studies, economic impact studies. A lot of consultants made a lot of money over 20 some years. And when I was hired, I joined the organization in 2018. One of the assignments I was given was to identify whether or not an expansion was something that we really should continue to focus on or move it to the back burner. And there was no right or wrong answer anticipated, just we need to blank or get off the pot with the project. And it took about a year or so to really understand the organization, look at the dynamics. And in 2019, started with hiring a couple of architects to bring together the vision of what we needed an expansion to have. And then we brought on a construction management team of Gilbane and Smith so they could price out what this vision would cost. And then at the height of COVID on April 2nd of 2020, which was a month after we presented the renderings of the project in March of 2020, you may recall March 2020, there wasn't a lot of discussion other than what is this COVID thing?
Yeah, right.
And then right after we presented the renderings, the NBA canceled its season and the world as we knew it really turned upside down. We had a board meeting scheduled for April 2nd. We moved forward with making the presentation to the board on what the cost of the project was, seeking their approval. And it was interesting. We were seeking approval to spend $400 and some million on an expansion to service an industry that had stopped working. Planes weren't flying, people weren't traveling. Yet our pitch to the board was, and we did have guidance from a number of different financial advisors and economic specialists to say that this too shall pass, and that if we, based upon prior economic turndowns in our country, the type of return to regular business it would be, and they projected that we would be back to pre-COVID business by 24, 25. And the board felt that we had a sound business plan, and they approved the project. We secured funding in December of 2020, broke ground October 28th, 2021, and had our grand opening gala and ribbon cutting ceremony on Thursday, May 16th. So that's the compressed timeline of what we did. And as far as your comments about our property and what it must be like to have been like to oversee it, it was like giving birth. Just the nervousness about, are we going to get this done on time, on budget? Are we going to be able to support this project that we are now building?
Will I ever sleep again?
Well, yeah, well, that's true. But I think what has happened is, or fortunately, we finished the project on time and on budget. And we've always been thoughtful in what we were going to do with the project, but understanding that the users are going to tell us what works and what doesn't work in the design.
Yeah.
And I'm the past 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks now that we're open, been spending a lot of time walking around the building, watching people use the building. And much of what we hoped was going to be used in the manner that which we thought it would be used is being used that way.
Yeah.
But in just one last thing, and I'll stop rambling on this one. I think there were 2 dates that we did some special activities in the convention center that really had me just sitting against the wall, standing against the wall, and smiling and getting emotional. Was on May 4th, we had a pre-opening preview for everyone who was involved in building, designing, working on the expansion. That included members of the WCD staff plus the staff of VISIT Milwaukee. We said, come, bring your friends and family. We want you to take pride before we open this big girl to this community. And then after the gala, that 2 days later, we had an opening for the public so they could come in and see what we've been doing behind the construction fence for 2.5, 3 years. And just watching the people come in at both events, May 4th, 3 events, the gala, and then on the 18th, to see people look around and have a big smile on their face and go up to the different pieces of artwork that have a QR code next to them and taking the picture of the QR code so they could learn more about the art piece and the artist who did it. It's been so gratifying because it's validating that people from our community are coming into the facility, appreciating it, taking pride in it, hopefully taking ownership that this is now another Milwaukee icon. And, I've been so blessed to be involved in this project and just can't wait for more people to come and see it.
Yeah, the architecture is absolutely beautiful. The Baird terrace, rooftop terrace is
Baird Skyview
Terrace is absolutely
Get it right, Josh.
Yeah, I know, right? But the views of the skyline is remarkable, especially at night, the evening of the gala, seeing hundreds of people out there enjoying themselves during the cocktail hour, skylines in the background. It's a wonderful new perspective of the cityscape, which is amazing. And you mentioned the art. The art, it's like you're walking in an art gallery. I know it's probably hard to choose a favorite already, but is there maybe 1 or 2 that every time you see it, you're like, how do I get this in my building? This is amazing.
I'll give you a for and off the record response. A for the record response is, Josh, every piece of artwork in that building, since the majority of them are made by Wisconsin artists, each one of them in their own right is my favorite.
Yeah.
Now, the off the record response is that I think my favorite place, and you talk about the Skyview Terrace, there are some incredible nooks and crannies of this building that are just spectacular and a lot of wows. But my favorite place to stand is at the Kilbourne entrance with my back to the water feature. We have this 2-story, 5-panel water feature that is spectacular. So you hear and see and feel the water behind you, looking up the collaborative staircase, and then overhanging the collaborative staircase from the 2nd floor up to the 3rd floor is this 3D art piece, which is a immersive piece depicting Lake Michigan. And the area closest to you towards the 1st floor has abstract fish being suspended, and then you see these discs. And what people may not realize is those discs represent ice forming on the surface of Lake Michigan. And then as you get further south on this piece, they come up like in a crescendo, ice shards breaking through as if the lake were frozen and now coming against the shoreline. And then above them are abstract birds. So as you're going up or down the escalator, you feel like you're either rising up from the depths of Lake Michigan or going down.
Very cool.
It is breathtaking. Yeah.
And it's also the fact you're now in this 3.5, 4-story atrium with 3 stories of glass on 2 sides of you. So it's just a very open feel that is, we didn't want it to have the the formality or the formal feel of, or institutional feel of an art gallery, but I truly believe the place feels special.
Mhm.
And what that means is different to all three of us, but it's got a very special feel. And when you talk about Milwaukee Fresh, that's to me, it is the Baird Center as far as what's Milwaukee Fresh, because a concern that we had in the design of the structure is this is not traditional Milwaukee architecture. When people come in, or from the outside, they see the building and it's a very stunning, very interesting piece of architecture. Then you come inside and then you go to each floor and see the designs of each floor. And then the ballroom itself is spectacular. And then the Baird Skyview Terrace. This is, people walk into the space for the first time and they go, wow, I don't feel like I'm in Milwaukee. But they say that not in a, wow, it doesn't belong. Right. They say that in, this is so cool. This is an evolution of Milwaukee.
Very non-traditional.
Correct. Yeah. And I've given 150 tours in the past 2+ years of the property, and obviously more people in the past several weeks. People love what they see because it feels different, but in a very positive, progressive. We're a with it market.
Yeah, I love the idea of setting the new tone, right? Not following suit, not doing something what another city has done, not doing something that had been done previously, but being the new standard bearer, right? Like, this is the new thing that you're doing, and we just set that standard. So now you have to match us, right? And so that's definitely part of what has been accomplished. And kudos to you and the entire team there and the board, who all did amazing things to bring it for our community. And it truly is, it's the center of our community. I mean, it's really in this center of downtown Milwaukee. It's where things sort of begin and end. And so it had to be special. And you guys knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's remarkable. So along with the center, the Baird Center, you have two other buildings right next door. The Miller High Life Theater is actually one of my favorites because that's where I believe Teddy Roosevelt once gave a speech after being shot in the chest. It's one of my favorite all-time Milwaukee stories for the history. Beautiful historic building. Just saw Jerry Seinfeld there back in December. Part of the theater district. Wonderful building. Do you have any cool memories, a particular act that's come through there that's really stood out for you?
Well, I've only been in the market 6 years, so I wasn't here when Teddy gave his speech and got shot. Although we did have the chair that he was sitting in.
Yeah. What was it like seeing Teddy?
It's interesting how diverse the programming is in the building, because there are times where we have Broadway type shows, but the major facility for that is the Market Center for Performing Arts. We have a lot of entertainment events. I was also at the Jerry Seinfeld concert. It was phenomenal. It's great to see that. And we also have a lot of graduations, meetings, conventions, use that space. It's presented now as a performing arts theater, but it has a lot of different, it's a chameleon. It can turn into whatever your event needs it to be.
And UW Panther Arena is very similar. The arena can sort of go from indoor soccer to Admirals hockey to who knows what, right? Graduation ceremonies, anything, right? Like, it's amazing.
In any given weekend, we could have two events on the same day, and something different happening on the Sunday. So it's a very versatile facility. Been around a long time. When I was hired, someone asked me, well, what do you think about coming to Milwaukee? And my response was, I never thought I'd be running a building that was older than I am. And because she opened up in 1950. So it's a 74-year-old facility that's still up and running and in pretty good shape. Yeah.
I love going to hockey and soccer there. And it's so much fun. And it's another great part. And of course, the Wisconsin Sports Hall of Fames are on the outside of there. So there's some fun exterior elements, proximity to Fiserv Forum, which the district is landlord of the space there. Tell us a little bit about how that works with all the different development around the area.
Well, going back to, I believe it was 2015 thereabouts, when the commitment was made by the city, county, and state to support the building of a new Bucks Arena, the district was looked to serve as the funding source for the public funding. So city, county, state collect monies, send that to us every year to work towards the debt service. So we are the owner of the Fiserv Forum. There's a 30-year lease that we have with the Bucks. They pay us an annual lease payment, but all responsibilities for the facility are the Bucks. They operate it, they book it, they any capital improvements that need to be made. Maintenance is all under their jurisdiction, as well as how the property is used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so does that, because there's also the space next to Pfizer, and you're talking about all these amazing things that you guys have done, and just the story itself with the Baird Center. I want to know what's next. I can tell you where there's a really nice lot that has some stones on it right now that we could put something on. Something could look really nice there. I walk past that space and I just go, man, I don't know what's going to be here, but
it's your restaurant. Your restaurant's going to go there.
A restaurant. There's a lot of potential there.
You talk about the Bradley Center a lot?
Where the Bradley Center was, yeah.
Well, I saw earlier today, and I believe it was the Business Journal, they have pictures of a crane on the Bradley Center lot and piles beginning to be driven for the Live Nation venue that's being built there. So that's the article talked about them wanting to get a head start on the driving of the piles. So they're looking to do that for the next 2 to 3 weeks, take a 2-week vacation while the RNC is going on, and then go back to full tilt. So that project has broken ground. It is underway.
Yeah, it's happening.
Because all of that's so important, because Milwaukee is, like, people don't necessarily realize just how close all of that is to where it allows you to just be able to visit all of these different buildings. You could spend an afternoon and tour the Baird Center and then go right down to, the High Life Theater and just make your way all around. It's all right there. And I think that just opens up so many opportunities for people to come into the city and really just see what Milwaukee all has to offer.
People from smaller markets are more connected to their cars than when you come from a bigger city. Milwaukee is a very walkable city. So when you talk about going from one of our properties to the Pfizer Forum, you could walk to the lakefront. It's only a mile or so. So
right.
it's very walkable. Our entire downtown, and there's just so many entertainment facilities, restaurants, bars, the lakefront, really walkable, especially if you come from a larger market where walking 6-10 blocks is no big deal.
Yeah.
Right. I just thought about, you could be in town for a convention, leave the convention, go catch a concert, and then, all right there. You wouldn't even have to move your car.
Yeah.
Pay for parking once.
That's right.
Or if you fly in, just hop in an Uber.
That's
there.
right.
You're
That's
set.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's why we're such an amazing place for conventions, Josh. You know this.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. It's brilliant. It's great. And now it's awesome that they have this new space that they can really take advantage of in the Baird Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you mentioned Milwaukee Fresh. We've got fresh city vibes. Milwaukee's a city really that's on the move, right? New construction happening all the time, as we mentioned, throughout the city. We like to say Milwaukee's got fresh city vibes right now. It's part of our marketing campaigns. It's what we put out there to really set the tone for people that we're a city on the move, setting a new standard. What's giving you the fun, fresh city vibes right now? What are you liking to explore? What's maybe something new that you've been a little obsessed with? What's on your brain?
Well, I'm not going to get into what I'm obsessed with, because it probably has calories and not something I want my wife to be able to find out that I'm obsessed with it. But I will tell you what has surprised me since I came here is, aside from the restaurants and bars and the vibrancy of a downtown, it is amazing in comparison to other cities that I've lived in that are larger and have a greater population base, how vibrant and how much our city has to offer. So I've certainly partaken in the restaurants and bars, but the entertainment opportunities, options, you've got Turner Hall, the Rave, Pfizer Forum, Miller High Life Theater, Riverside, the Pabst. We've got such a wide breadth of facilities and types of entertainment that comes here. I've a long time been a fan of performing theater, and this is the second year I've had a subscription to the Marcus Center of Performing Arts, and the talent that they have coming through there is just amazing. My wife and I went to see Moulin Rouge a week ago, and just it's a Broadway touring show, so but you forget sometimes when you're not in New York that the quality of the talent. And I'm always blown away by the shows that I see at the Marcus Center. So I think that's one of the unanticipated activities that is more enjoyable than I anticipated finding in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a hidden gem that's not going to be hidden for much longer. We're definitely doing a great job, and the Wisconsin Center District, heart of theater district as well. Lots of great theater that's love it so much, and we always champion recently more seats per capita than any other city in the United States for theater seats. And that's not including UW Panther Arena, which could be a theater space.
True.
And that's not including Pfizer Forum, which can be a theater space too. So that's two big arenas that aren't even included in those numbers. So you're right. We need to definitely take advantage of our theater scene and support it. And with the opening of the Baird Center, you guys did a great support, gave a great donation to performing arts. UPAF was one of your beneficiaries of that event. So great giving back to the community through that fundraising event.
What I didn't even anticipate, and part of the gala we had, Adina Menzel was the special performing artist, and she was phenomenal. And she came out, a great job of welcoming people to the Baird Center. I love when she said Baird Center. I also loved how many times she said Milwaukee for all of us in the room. But she also had known, and not from me, that we had made the donation to UPAF. We also made a comparable donation to United Way of Milwaukee and Waukesha County. But her acknowledgement of the appreciation, I think, was very meaningful to both UPAF and us as the ones channeling the donation to them.
Yeah. So this was definitely a legacy leaving project, but I have a feeling there's more in the future. And can't wait to see what you're able to help bring to the city of Milwaukee and what your staff's able to do to support your big ideas. And happy that Visit Milwaukee can be a part of those projects as well, in our way of helping to promote and bring people to the city.
Look, the relationship between Visit Milwaukee and the Wisconsin Center District has never been better. I believe that we're great partners. Peggy and I work arm in arm every day. And I like to say this when people say, well, have you had a chance to relax since the gala or the project's been completed? No, there's no end date on the calendar. And as I said the night of the gala, and I say all the time, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
We've got more ahead of us, and stay tuned.
That's right. Well, that's a fantastic way to end it.
You're darn right. Thank you so much, Marty, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Josh. And thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
All right.